Hello. For this Writer's Advice Corner, I want to help give you 3 tips to help keep you motivated, help you defeat writer's block, and get that story out. Tip number 1, music. I find music to be very inspirational. So put on whatever music best helps you get through the scene you're writing. If you can't think of a certain type of music or song that will help get you through that writer's block, my suggestion is just put on anything. Anything that really gets your motivation going. Anything to unlock that creative part of your brain. If you're having trouble just getting behind your keyboard, I've had moments like that too. I'll add a link in the description below for a song that I like to listen to, which always helps pump me up and get me motivated to write. Tip number 2, it's all on you. You're the only one who knows your story. You're the only one who's going to write your story. You cannot just wait and hope that the book will write itself. If you are serious about wanting to be a writer, then you need to do it. If you're not certain that your story is good enough, a lot of writers feel that way. When I've been writing this entire series of mine, I thought, nobody is ever going to read this. Nobody's going to like it. I gave it to my beta readers thinking that they're going to just think it's garbage. A lot of people I've talked to went in reading my story and they came back with glowing comments, and that blew me away. I was like, how did they like this story? I mean, I like it because I created it, but the fact was, I buckled down and I put myself behind the computer. There were times where I got stuck and I followed tip number 1 and I managed to get myself unstuck. I know that some parts of the writing process can be so boring, but it's worth it. When you get through it, at the end of the day, it's worth it. Tip number 3, take a break. Now, I'm not saying that you need to take a break and go do something else. What I mean is take a break for a day if you must, or 2. And during that time, go back over your outlines, your storyboards, whatever. Think about future scenes in the book so you'll get excited about what you are going to write. Then fill in the gap. Do this in your mind. You do not have to write it down. I never write this stuff down. I have it all in my mind. Stephen King once said, if you have a good idea and you don't write it down and you remember that idea, it's a good idea because the audience will remember that idea. And I am a full believer in that. If I think of something and I forget it by the time I sit behind my computer and I start writing and I finally get to the scene and I have forgotten something that I had thought about, clearly the audience would forget it too. But every day, whenever I'm doing anything and I'm not behind my computer, in the back of my mind, I am constantly thinking about what I'm going to write. As of the date of this video, I have already finished book 5 of my series. I have to go over that. I'm currently going through book 4 before I send it to my editor. While I'm doing all this, I am thinking about book 6, the final book in this series, and what all is going to be in it. That way, I already have it planned out in my head. So when I sit down to actually start writing book 6, I can just go. Maybe I get stuck. Maybe I don't have a gap filled. That's when I follow steps 1 and 2. I tell myself, I gotta do this. I'll listen to music. And then finally, after listening to music, if I can't get through it, if I can't break through the writer's block, I take a break and I rethink about everything I'm going to write so it'll help me push through the area I'm in. So this has been my 3 tips on how to deal with writer's block and how to motivate yourself. Because you're the writer, and this book is not going to write itself. And I understand a lot of people might be afraid, to publish or something, but you're never going to know if you don't try. You're never going to succeed if you don't push yourself. It's like they say, you can't win the lottery if you don't buy a lottery ticket. I want to thank you, and if you found this video helpful, please feel free to visit my website and check out my series, The Guardian of Light. I want to thank you all for watching, and happy writing.